To be entirely honest with you, I'm not a huge succulent terrarium fan. Yes, they do look nice, but the great majority of succulents are very likely to eventually die in them. They may look amazing, but simply don't provide a good growing environment for a lot of plants. However, there are a few succulents that should tolerate being in a terrarium. A word of warning though, even these succulents will need a few things such as good light and careful watering regime in order to survive a life in a terrarium. I adore this little succulent, it is so cute. It also stays this small, tolerates shade very well, and most of all tolerates humidity. Lack of light combined with humidity that often builds up in terrariums is the biggest killer of succulents in terrariums. Many succulents will not grow very fast indoors where most people will place their terrariums, but this is a good thing. In my opinion, it is best to choose smaller plants that stay small, just like this aloe, so their leaves don't push against the glass and also smother other plants. Terrarium woody, aka chain of hearts, is shade tolerant, not very susceptible to rot, and is also okay with humidity. It can act as a nice filler plant that will slowly trail around the terrarium. And it's almost a must-have if your terrarium comes with a side opening. Epiphytic may not sound like a good choice for terrariums as they grow quite big, but hear me out. These plants are what's called epiphytes, which in short means they grow on other plants in a non-parasitic way, using them as anchors. Although they will grow in soil or potting mix, they can survive without it. In nature, they're found in humid tropical areas and mostly grow in shaded spots. Because a terrarium will only have limited root space, epiphytic will not get anywhere near their full size. In my experience, they work very well in terrariums, but you have to get small plants. Epiphytic anguliger, or the fishbone cactus, is one of my favorites due to the unusual leaf shape. To get small plants, you can cut the tops off and get them to root in a pot. They are also perfect for terrariums with side openings as they will grow out and hang. These Haworthia are often called zebra plants, but they do come with a few different leaf markings. There are a few slight differences between attenuata and fasciata, but they all do well in terrariums. I would suggest putting them away from the walls as they can grow a bit bigger. Many Haworthia are good candidates for terrariums. They grow quite slow, tolerate shade and humidity. Some can get a bit big in good conditions, but they tend not to in terrariums indoors. I particularly like Haworthia cooperi cultivars such as this one called truncata. They are only small and look very unusual. Haworthia bayeri only grows to about 7 cm or 3 inches and looks interesting with veins running across the tops of the leaves. It's also quite slow growing and will not require a lot of space. Most peperomia plants will be fine in terrariums. Peperomia prostrata, aka the string of turtles, tolerates the conditions well and, like the chain of hearts, it trails. Rhipsalis are the ultimate terrarium succulents. Just like Epiphytic, Rhipsalis are epiphytes and like humidity and shade. Rhipsalis can grow quite large, but in a terrarium their growth will be stunted. Terrariuscula is one of the best Rhipsalis cultivars to use in a terrarium and kinda looks like a tiny little shrub. They will likely grow more than all of the other plants mentioned here, but can easily be trimmed back if they start to take over. And that is that for today. Just a quick FYI, other succulents may grow fairly well in terrariums if they are given appropriate light. If you have a favorite succulent that grows well in a terrarium for you, please share with us in the comments. To learn more about succulents, hit the subscribe button or go to our website succulentgrowingtips.com. Thank you so very much for watching.